Hello lovely stitchy friends. I'm Kat and I'm delighted to welcome you to my channel, Catkin and Lily, where we talk all things cross stitch. If you're new here, then I hope you'll really enjoy seeing my cross stitch updates, and if you're a returning viewer, then thank you so much for coming back to spend a little bit more time with me. Today is FlossTube number 28 and it's the 7th of August. So you might already guess I'm going to say, where on earth is the time going to? How is it August already? But here we are. And I'm going to say buckle in as well for this episode, because I think it could be a long one. There's a lot to show. Grab yourselves a hot drink and maybe even some popcorn. Neither of which I have here, but then obviously I'm not going to eat on my FlossTube episode with you. And if I had a hot drink, it would just sit over the side there and probably go cold, because I would be too busy talking. Now, this is really becoming very predictable because no new starts, no finishes. It is all about the whips. Just lots and lots of whip progress, lots of whips to show you. And yes, I do have a little bit of stash. Only one thing, one little bit of new stash to show you this time, but it's a very exciting one. And of course, I also have my giveaway winner to announce. That was my giveaway from the previous episode for 6,000 subscribers. I'm still slightly reeling in shock from that one. And while I'm on that though, thank you so much to any of you who have subscribed recently. It is absolutely fantastic to have you all on board here, and yeah, I really hope you'll stick around and enjoy seeing all my cross stitch. But I will do the giveaway winner at some point. Just keep your eyes peeled for that one. But first, let's get into the stitching, because as I said, there is quite a lot of it. I've had quite a good bit of rotation again. I've had some pieces have kind of gone on hold for a little bit, just on temporary timeout. I've had some that have come back into the rotation that I haven't touched for a while, which is always very exciting. And one of the ones that has fallen off actually is, well, I kind of fell off my James Webb Space Telescope stitch along wagon. Because, well, actually I don't really know why. It was sort of to do with putting in so many stitches on Chromatic Dragon, and there was a lot of dark stitching that I was doing, and I really didn't fancy doing the dark stitching on the James Webb Space Telescope as well. It just kind of fell off the wagon, and I just thought, well, I have so much to show you. Actually, it's probably better if I don't try to touch so many whips in the 2 weeks between when we chat, because otherwise I have lots and lots to show you. So I have been trying to work it so I don't have 1,000,001 whips to show you each time, but I'm not quite sure how well I've managed it, because I still have 10 to show you this time. So yeah, like I said, there's quite a lot to get through. And the first whip out of the gate is very often the first one that we talk about, and it's Chromatic Dragon. And I had this one slated for a whip go call in July to work on it and put in 5,000 stitches. And I'd been umming and ahhing whether I was really going to do this. I wasn't going to put pressure on myself to actually get those 5,000 stitches because of all the things I wanted to touch. But do you know what? I actually did it. I am so impressed with myself, and yeah, really, really delighted, because it was a goal I really didn't think I was going to get to, and I only just made it. I made it I did 5,013 stitches. So just squeaked into the 5,000, but yeah, it's amazing. So let's take a look at where it was last time you saw it. And if you take a look, all the progress that I've made is still all the way over towards the right hand side of the pattern. And this is what it looks like now. I've been working on the aqua area and the bit that's kind of just below the aqua, sort of between the aqua area and the horn. Definitely quite a lot of confetti in there. So it would be kind of amazing that I got the 5,000 stitches, but I think I managed that not in small part because I actually managed to pull out quite a lot of that dark area. It is crazy how much there is to go of that. So it's really good to be chipping away at that. And in fact, I've probably done more than chipping away on this. I feel like I've done quite a lot in that dark area. So that's been fantastic. And that is putting me currently at 49,620 stitches, which is 23.7%. So I'm going to get very excited when I hit 50,000 stitches. Now I'm going back just to 1 day a week for the dragon for August. Again, I've got lots of things going on. I'm so excited I managed to push that one forward so much and get those 5,000 stitches. But that's not happening in August. I have no more of those crazy 5,000 stitch goals for the dragon on my whip go. It was on 3 times and I've done every single one. And now probably for the rest of the year, it's just going to get 1 day a week, which is fine. I'm just going to keep plugging away at it. I think I am going to switch it up for the next session on it. So when I start again, I'm going to move all the way over to the left-hand side. Apparently I can't tell my right from my left today. Left-hand side, and start there. So I'll roll it up from one end. I won't work on that dark area anymore for just a little bit because I have done quite a good amount. And I'm going to work on that left-hand side. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm going to move back to a whole new area. Next up, we have one that you've not seen for a bit. So this is one of these ones I've been pulling out and excited to work on, which is the Jingle SAL from the Historical Sampler Company. And yes, this is their Christmas SAL from last year. So I started this, let's see, on the 19th of October, 2023. And I worked on it, I think in October, November, December, and then I popped it on timeout, hadn't finished it, and I just left it there, intending to come back to it this year and potentially finish it up and get it framed for Christmas this year, which I don't think that's happening anymore because I probably needed to put it out earlier to get it done and get it to the framer. So that won't happen this year, but I would like to at least finish it. And in particular, I'd like to finish it before this year's Christmas SAL starts. So I pulled this one back out for my Merry Mondays. I've given it 2 Mondays. And I can't actually find a picture of where it was last time. I'm convinced I would have taken one, but no, apparently I didn't. The last picture I have of it has only a really small bit done at the top, and I've done a lot more than that, so who knows where that's gone to. But I will put up the picture of where it is now, and I'll let you know what I've done on those 2 Mondays. So this is what it's looking like at the moment. And what I've done since picking it back up again for those 2 Mondays is over on the right hand side. So I've done box number 15 with the very cute reindeer. I've done box number 19 with the ornament. And I've started box number 18, which is another tree. I also pulled down the 1 stitch wide border on the very right hand side. I've pulled that down a little bit more. And I did start the box frame that is below box 19, but apparently I decided you didn't need to see all of that in my photo, and I've just cut it off. But to be fair, it's not all that exciting. So that's been really nice to pull that one back out. I've really enjoyed working on it. And it's going to go away again very slightly for a bit because I'm going to work on a different Christmas project for the next 2 Merry Mondays, and then this one will come back in again. And we are sticking with the wintry theme and with the theme of projects that you haven't seen for a while with the next one, because this is The Winter's Gift by Joan Elliott. And this one I started on the 9th of December 2023, and I worked on it through until somewhere I think near the end of February this year, and then I popped it on timeout because it was a wintry project. I felt like it wasn't going to be worked again until probably October, November time this year. But it's out because it got a whip go call for me to work on it for 5 days. So of course, that's what I'm going to do. And I was really excited to get to pull it back out, even though it's summer. And it really is actually summer here at the moment. It feels like it's been really warm here in the UK. And I'm working on winter patterns. That's cross-stitching for you. But yes, so I have done 2 days so far on my whip go call out of the 3. And you'll see where I left her last time was that I had just started on the stripy part of the dress. And you know what? It was fun just to pull this back out and look at that huge chunk of dress that I'd stitched. Oh, it's really exciting. So I picked back up in that stripy part of the dress, and this is what it looks like. It's actually almost finished. And in case anyone's interested, this stripy area, I've worked this bit doing each column of colour, one by one, working across from right to left, because you know I will avoid leaving gaps as much as possible if I can. So I worked in long columns and worked my way across. So with 3 more days still to put in on this one, I'm really excited to see how much I can get done. I'm really hoping I can maybe finish all the way across to the left-hand side. Finish that stripy bit and then the bit of red that's on the dress on that side. What do you think? Can I do it? Definitely going to give it a good shot. Next, we seem to be moving into a couple of SALs, both ones that you've seen. And the first is the Deadly Aquarium SAL by Lola. Now, started on the 17th of May 2024, and we've had 9 parts out. These are coming out almost weekly. There was a break last Friday where there was no pattern released to allow us all to catch up, which obviously I have not caught up. But I've still done quite a bit, and yeah, that latest part, part 9, has got, it was the Great Hammerhead Shark with accompanying pilot fish, very cute, and the Great Barracuda. So a couple of apex predators, fairly high on the deadly scale, although not so much to humans, mainly just to other sea life, I guess. Now I will be very excited to stitch those, they look fantastic, but I think I've got a bit to go before I get to them. Because last time you saw this, I was still working on the big chunk of pattern that was made up of exhibits 5, 6 and 7 that goes kind of both sides of that post towards the left hand side of the design. And I have at least managed to finish all of the right hand side of that piece. I've started working over to the left, including the anglerfish. I've now finished the anglerfish, which is looking super cute, if an anglerfish can look super cute. There is still quite a lot of backstitch to go on all of this section. There's a lot on that coral, which I probably am putting off very slightly. I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and do it at some point. But I could not resist starting one of the eagle rays that's up at the top. I told you last time I really love rays, and yeah, I couldn't resist. I just had to start. I've only done the underneath bit. So yeah, I'm going to finish that one up next before I move on to anything else. And I'm not quite sure. I think I will probably go back down and try and finish that big chunk at the bottom, finish all the bit that's above the anglerfish. So as you can see, I'm not very caught up with this, but I am still loving every single moment that I get to stitch on this. It's so much fun. I know I say it every time, but it really is. And I know I also say that about this next whip, which is the Arctic Animals SAL by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is also just crazy amounts of fun to stitch. And I started this one on the 24th of May. It's an 11-part SAL, so it's going to be going for a little bit. And we have had part 3. Part 3 was out last time. I did show you that was the caribou. And this is what it looked like. I had literally just prepared the ground, I guess, ready for the caribou. And I was itching to get started on that caribou. And yes, he's now completed. There he is, chomping away on some lichen and looking super cute. And it didn't even really take too long to stitch this. They're not huge parts and they're really quite nice, fairly quick stitching. So yeah, it's nice to have that SAL that I am actually keeping up with. So that means I am all ready for part 4 to drop tomorrow. And I know what it is because the sneak peek was pretty clear this time round. And it's puffins. I can't wait. I am so excited to stitch those cheeky little puffins. And yeah, can't wait to share that with you. Next up, we have a little surprise drop-in from Julia the Firefly Princess, who is in here just because I've done one day on her. This is where I probably need to stop just doing one day on things to then show you, because this is how I end up with a lot of things to show you. I promise I'm going to get better at this and I have a plan. But I have worked on her, and so I did really want to show you her. And in fact, I started her in May, 31st of May, so right at the end of May. She had about 3 days, and now I've just done one more day. But it was quite nice because actually it looks a little bit more interesting than where it was last time, which was this fairly random meandering bit of stitching, which honestly doesn't even really look like anything particularly meaningful. And now I would say there is at least a little bit more to see here. So I really did go all out on her for that one day. I've done a nice chunk of the dress. The pattern on here is so pretty. The colours are gorgeous. Yeah, I was really happy to have her back out for one day. And sadly, she is not slated for any more time to be stitched on in August. She's kind of at the bottom of the pecking order of fancy ladies, which is a little bit of a shame. And I obviously still absolutely adore her, but she was the last one of the ones that I've got going at the moment, the last of the 5 to be started, and yeah, I'm not sure she's going to get too much, I think, unless I actually finish any of the other fancy ladies. And now it's time for something completely different, with Frog by Hoops and Crosses. It's a bit jarring, isn't it, going between Beautiful Fancy Lady and then this little frog guy. Although I do love him as well. And I started this one on the 15th of June 2024. So this one is relatively recent and has been my work project. So I've just been taking it into work. I am very lucky I only work my proper job 2 days a week. And I take Frog with me and he gets about, I probably manage about 30 minutes in my morning and lunchtime breaks, sort of overall, about 30 minutes twice a week. So he's getting about an hour a week. But because of the stitching, because it's nice long lines, it's really easy, I can actually get a really decent amount done. So let me show you. Here's where he was last time. And I'd completed 4 colours. I was working on the yellow in the rainbow. And look at him now. I've finished the yellow, I've finished the orange, and I'm into the very last colour, the red on the rainbow, which is fantastic. There is still a backstitch to do as well, backstitch on the frog and the backstitch for the text, but yeah, it's getting really close. So he will be staying as my work stitch because I am making really good progress. I might, when I get to that backstitch, I might do that at home because work is quite stressful. It's quite a lot of thinking to be done. I work as a specialist frailty pharmacist in a hospital. It's a lot of brain thinking and I like my stitching in my breaks to just bring my brain down a notch, and the backstitch might not be quite so restful, so I might switch it up at that point. But I'll finish the red up, hopefully, let me see, yeah, this Thursday. I guess we'll see where we go from there. Next up is Woodland Fox, which is my own design that I've been test stitching. And I started this one, actually I don't know, I started it a couple of months ago. I've been very slow with this. But it is getting very close to finalising the design, finalising the stitching, so this is getting very exciting. And last time I had just been working on, I'd added his darker feet and I had just made a start into the tree stump and the grass. And now he's almost all done. This is basically all the stitching complete, apart from the little bit on his back, which I'm saving because I'm wanting to use that for a video on using blended threads. So I've left that little bit on the back of him, but all the other stitching is done, just backstitch to add, which is obviously going to bring him to life so much. So that will be really fun to put on. Now, that means I am so close that the plan is for him to be released Wednesday, the 14th of August. So 1 week to go. And you heard it here first, and now I've just committed myself. The plan is he will be released on Wednesday along with the video to go with him on stitching with blended threads. Now, if you've been enjoying seeing this little fox and you're thinking that you might be wanting to purchase him when he goes up for sale next Wednesday, then do make sure you're on my email list because there will be a little launch discount code. So I wouldn't want you to miss that. And the link to sign up for my email list is in the description below. And the next and very nearly final whip is the Happy Halloween stitch along by the Historical Sampler Company. So this is a 4-part SAL, which I started on the 9th of July. And this SAL kit was very kindly gifted to me by the Historical Sampler Company. And we've just had part 3 released, which I haven't even properly looked at. There's a very cute little witch, but I mean, you can see it all up there. I've put the picture up, but do you know what? I haven't even really studied it that closely. I just whipped it up into the picture, but yeah, I did note a very cute little witch. So looking forward to stitching that. And I've made some really good progress on this one because here's where it was last time. I'd really just only started in part 1 when you saw it a couple of weeks ago. And now I've done most of part 2. Not all of part 2, but most of it. I am absolutely loving that little cat on a broomstick. And the little tiny bat, so adorable. So as you can see, I'm mostly keeping up with this SAL, but obviously I do need to crack on with part 3 so that I don't fall too far behind. And I do at least feel slightly vindicated that there are parts of motifs where I've chosen not to stitch it if there's half of it is in one part and half will come out in the next part. Because actually, I'm going to put the picture back up for you. Can you see there's a little ghost? Well, there's 2 of them. But see the ghost on the left-hand side where his tail is actually, those couple stitches right at the bottom of that ghost's tail. If they have to, is that what, I don't even know if that's the right word for it. That's what I'm calling it anyway. But the last couple of stitches are in part 3. So I'm really happy now that I did not stitch most of it in part 1 and leave myself 2 stitches to go back and fill in on part 3. That is why I do not stay caught up with some of these SALs when it's divided in sections and there might be bits going across sections. But anyway, that is a slight digression. I think I'm just feeling slightly smug about that. But looking forward to stitching some more on it. And the 10th and final whip that I have for you today is When Life Gives You Lemons by Stitch Rovia. So this is the project that I started stitching with my mum, and we started this on the 20th of July. Well, okay, as you know, she started it on the 19th and I started it on the 20th because of a whole fabric debacle. Entirely my fault. But anyway, basically started stitching it at the same time. And last time I showed you my extremely impressive, okay, very not impressive start of one strand. You'll be pleased to know there is a little bit more to see this time. So that's the full width of the pattern across the bottom. So we've got some nice scroll work going on there, which is really lovely to stitch. Actually, it's all really lovely to stitch. I've got a very, very nice looking glass of gin and tonic. So this one it's a real delight to stitch this. It's just a beautiful, relaxing stitch. I love the colours in there, those aquas and yellows and greens. It's just really nice to stitch. And of course, I will insert for you, let's put a picture in of where Mum is at. You might remember that she was starting at the top. And look how much she's done. I'm going to say she's winning right now, out of the 2 of us. She has definitely done more than me. She has told me that she's enjoying this so much as well, and it's really fun sending each other pictures of where we're up to. Now, I would, not just because Mum is clearly further ahead than me, but I would like to put some more stitches in on this a little bit more quickly. So this one's now going to be, as well as it will probably have at least a day in the week, it's going to be my football project because the Premier League season will be starting up in the middle of August. First match is on 17th of August for Liverpool, which is the team I support because, as you may or may not know, lovely husband Dr. Tim works for Liverpool Football Club. So whilst watching the Liverpool football matches, I will be doing stitching and it will be the lemons. And that's it. Yay! We've reached the end of all my many, many whips. And I think we should do the giveaway winner now before I dive on into new stash and plans. So, as I mentioned earlier, this was a giveaway to celebrate reaching 6,000 subscribers. Still crazy. And I had this gorgeous pattern up for grabs from Primrose Cottage Stitches, which I have a copy of for myself. So it was this pattern and this gorgeous little sparkly heart needle minder from Kate Blanford. And I've used the YouTube random comment picker, and it has chosen from 74 entries, it's chosen Lynn Wheeler 4295. So I popped the comment up. Congratulations to you, and yeah, just drop me an email. My email is in the description, so drop me a message and let me know your address so that I can get those goodies off to you. And talking of goodies, that just segues us beautifully into my new stash, which is super exciting. I said I only had one thing, well, it's sort of two, but I finally got myself an Agnes little needle minder. 2 Agnes little needle minders. Because you know how I feel about cross-stitch stash of any kind travelling on its own. And I think just it's taken a really long time to get my hands on one of these because they are so popular. When she lists them up for sale, they very often go very quickly and I've usually missed out. And I managed to get one this time and I think I got a bit overexcited, so decided to get 2. So let me show you. I've got my beautiful little box here and I've got them in here. I'll show you. The first one is a gorgeous, now I don't know the best way to show you this. You can't really, yeah, I should have planned this better. I know what I'll do. I'm usually Mrs. Organised, aren't I? Ta-da! There we go. That's better. Could have planned that one. This is the gorgeous manta ray. I have been wanting one of these for absolutely ages, and that is just, it's so stunning. I'll take it off. I don't know if I can show you, if I put it on here as well so that you can kind of see. I just want you to see how beautiful it is, and I can't really show you because it's so stunning. I don't feel like I can do it justice. Look at that. I love that. I love the design on there. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about it because I love it so much. But I did say I got 2, so the other one, I think, do I love it this much? Yeah, I think I probably do. I'll do the same and stick it on the box, because I think that's the easiest way to show you. This one is a beautiful seahorse. Oh, now some of it are glittery. This isn't. It's just got the lovely pearl shine to it. It is so stunning. The colours on this one are gorgeous. Let's take him off. Again, I'll try and do it this way. I feel like I'm just going to cover too much of it if I do it like this, but oh, look at that. Wow. So yes, I may only have just that as my new stash this week, but they are so beautiful. I am so pleased that I got my hands on those. And even better, one of them was basically a gift from another very, very lovely stitcher. So thank you, Andrew, the runner stitcher, because he sent me a little voucher to spend on Etsy and I used it to buy one of these needle minders. So yeah, I really treated myself there. And thank you, Andrew. So now we get to plans, and I'll start with my Whip Go goals because we've had those out for August. And actually I think, oh well, I've mentioned one of them already, which was 5 days on the Winter's Gift. Obviously done a couple of days of that already, that's well underway. And the other one is 5 days on Wildflower Wreath. So I'll put the picture up again for you so you can see which one I'm talking about. I haven't got it here to show you because I haven't actually started working on that one yet for those 5 days. But I am wondering if I can finish it. I was quite close after the last Whip Go goal to do 5 days. So yeah, maybe. I'll definitely have it to show you next time, and let's see if I can push it to a finish. I'm still not planning any more new starts for August. I do want to mention in here about the Historical Sampler Company Advent Box and Stitch Along, because those are available to order right now and they have very nearly sold out. So you might want to get in quick on this one. Now obviously the Stitch Along, certainly as a PDF version, will be available for ages, but everything else is nearly sold out, so might need to get your skates on here. Now I am very much looking forward to the Advent box with all those exciting little packages. I will put some pictures in which obviously are of last year's box. No spoilers for this year. The pictures are from last year's box just to give you an idea. And it will, again, it'll be a mix of stitchy and non-stitchy items. So it isn't 100% stitchy related. And I know a lot of people really like that mix rather than just having it all be exclusively stitchy. Now, not all the gifts are always right up my street, but it's always fun opening the little packages just to see what's in there. And what I am really excited for is the mini kits. This is honestly where I think the Advent box really shines for me. And last year there were 3 mini kits. This year there are 6. 6 mini kits. And the reason I love these so much is they're always beautiful designs. They come with everything to stitch it and everything to finish it. And they come up with really creative ways for you to finish and display the piece and give you all the things so that you can finish it the way that they've shown, which I just think is fantastic. So I am very much looking forward to that. Now, if the Advent box isn't your thing, or if it is very sadly sold out by the time you get to it, then how about the Stitch Along, which is going to be the Robin Christmas Patchwork SAL. So they have released a sneak peek, which I will put on screen for you, and just look at that. Even just that sneak peek, I cannot wait to stitch this. Just look at those cute little robins, and it's on the gorgeous sage green fabric, which I absolutely love. Now, talking of fabric, you can get this with 16 count Aida or 32 count linen, so great to have those options there. Now, it starts on the 14th of October, better make sure I get these dates right, 14th of October to start the stitching, and it will come out in 4 parts, released every couple of weeks. And the Advent boxes and Stitch Along kits will start shipping on the 25th of September. So in plenty of time to start stitching the Stitch Along. That's quite a long way before Christmas. Well, quite a long way before December if you've ordered the Advent box, so you might just have to hide that away. I know I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to hide that away somewhere so that I don't get really tempted by it before it gets to December. Okay, so that's my little spiel about the Historical Sampler Company. As you know, I always get very excited about their designs because I do love them so much. And I still have some more plans to tell you about, although it's really just continuing where I've been at, what I've been doing for the last couple of months really anyway. We're going to have Merry Mondays, Fancy Lady Fridays and Sal Sundays. Still really loving those themed days. And it's really working for me to at least allocate some of the projects to those days. And really it's just, I'm trying to at least, I don't really know what the word is, batch some of my stitching so that I can try and stitch things and swap them round between my FlossTube episodes to try and minimise just how many whips I have to cram into an episode. But hey, maybe you guys are enjoying that. Is it something that you enjoy, seeing so many different whips in a video? Or would you rather have less? I can't promise anything either way, but do let me know. Which means we have reached AOB. And of course, the most important, any other business, has got to be the Olympics. It doesn't come around very often, and I and lovely husband Dr. Tim do try and watch as much as we possibly can. I don't know if anyone can really watch all of it, and as most people, I have events that I'm not as fussed by. I especially love watching the gymnastics. I just find it absolutely incredible to watch, so definitely been trying to watch all of that. But lots of other good stuff as well. We've enjoyed some of the mountain biking events, some of the skateboarding. Very much looking forward to, I gather there's going to be some speed climbing going on. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, all the kind of more standard things that we have come to expect from the Olympics. There's swimming, the running. Oh, there's just so much, isn't there? And although I'm stitching whilst watching all of these things, you kind of have to put the stitching down and actually watch certain bits of it. You can't not. So it's kind of like stitch a little bit and then I have to sit and then I watch it. And then back to stitching for a few bit and then watching again. Is that the same for you guys? Are you all just kind of swapping between watching and stitching? And what are you enjoying the most? Let me know. Maybe you haven't been watching it at all. But if you have, let me know what you're really enjoying. And no, I have not been doing any of the Stitch the Olympics challenge because really, I think I have enough going on. Other than that, as I mentioned, it has been quite warm here in the UK and I have a blocked ear. It's just full of wax. This ear is just full of wax, which I am slowly getting rid of, but it's just not the most fun. And on that note, if I have been shouting at you for the entire FlossTube episode, well, I would apologise, but I'll just turn myself down in the edit, so hopefully your ears will be safe. I have been finalising my fabric organisation, so I'm really hoping I can share that with you very soon. And very excitingly, I have a Stitchy day coming up. Yes, this Sunday, the 11th of August, I will be at the Limes for a Stitchy day with the Birmingham UK Stitchers group. And I can't wait. I'm always a bit nervous before I go. In fact, this will only be my second Stitchy event. So I'm still a little bit nervous, but I think there's a few people going who I might remember from my first Stitchy day, which was also with the Birmingham Stitchers group. So there should be a few people that I might recognise. And if you're going, then let me know in the comments. And if you're there, please say hi, because I probably won't know who you are, because I am absolutely shocking with names and faces and what have you. So come and say hello to me, please. And that brings me to the end of our little chat for today. I'm always very sad when I reach the end, because I do so love sitting here and waffling away to you about my cross stitch and what I've been getting up to. And I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I hope maybe you've got some of your own stitching done while you've been listening to me waffle. And of course, I will be back in 2 weeks' time with another FlossTube. And as I say, you already know, next week will be a video on blended threads and the Fox pattern release. So very excited for that. If you are enjoying all this stitchy chat and the tips and tutorial videos, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single stitch. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you back here again soon. Until then, happy stitching and bye for now.